Good morning. 28 a.m., March 12th, and I've been awake for quite some time. I woke up at about 1:10, looked at my phone. It was immediately switched to 1:11, which angel number. I've been awake for a while, and I wake periodically throughout the night to record dreams. So it's somewhat typical for me to wake up a few times a night. Usually I do fall back asleep, but sometimes I don't, and this is one of those times that I didn't. I also go to the gym in the morning a few times a week. I get up at about 4, so I go to bed very early. And, lately I've just been feeling really listless, burnt out. Like the routine that I have is not serving me anymore, and I don't want to do it. I don't like my job. I'm stressed out. A lot of the connections I have in my life are people who are passive aggressive and manipulative, jealous even, envious. It's almost like they try to stop my progress in a way. Of course, where I am in my journey now, that acts more like a catalyst. It's more like fuel that propels me forward. But I woke up this morning and I was irritated. I had all these things that I was irritated about. And I've been through some things in life, like we all have, that hurt me. And, they say the wound is where the light gets in. Well, there's got to be a lot of light in there by this point. Anyway, so I woke up this morning. I've been, the typical thing. I hate my job. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not using my skills and talents to help anybody or to do really anything meaningful to me or, frankly, to the world. So I've been awake. I was listening to Alan Watts for a while. And I got up and I started meditating, which I've done before. But the first thing I did during this meditation, after I put this little neck thing under and I start trying to do energy work, you move the bioelectricity through your body. And after you've had a Kundalini awakening, maybe, if that's what it is, I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but there's just an energy that I can feel, Reiki energy, whatever you call it. So my meditations typically consist of me moving energy through channels in my body. And, where I have tension in my muscles, typically that's an energy blockage. So I've intuited. And I was using this, which is you lay it on the floor right there like that, and you put your neck on it. And it's supposed to lengthen out the muscles of your upper spine and neck where your brain stem meets the spinal cord. And I had this thought while I was meditating that was like, what is the point? Like, what's the point? Not of meditation, but what's the point of my life? Like, why? What is this? What is, like, I basically said to the universe, the me that is infinite, and I said, I kind of splayed my hands out and I said, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to get out of this, to break out of this? And the first little intuition that I had was that I needed to create. It was time for me to start sharing with the world instead of consuming, focusing on myself, what I want, what brings me joy. Because really what brings true joy is bringing that same joy to other people. And I have been blessed with a significant portion of useful practical knowledge from the universe for how to live a good life, how to be happy. I've cultivated discipline, tenacity, things that in my earlier life I struggled with. I was always high energy, but I never had the focus that I have today. And I guess I wouldn't really necessarily call it focus, because I still haven't really achieved all the things that I want to, which who has, but I've built a foundation upon which I can build a life that I will truly be proud of, truly bring joy to myself, to those around me, and hopefully to the world. Because I do believe that it's by healing those parts of ourselves, those neglected, rejected parts of ourselves, that we come to heal the planet, to heal the whole collective. Because if it's all consciousness, if it's all energy, as quantum physics suggests, then it would make sense that these, multiple thousands of years old spiritual traditions were onto something when they said, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, clean your shit up and your world won't stink anymore. And my shit right now, I also say this thing, I say the life you most want to live is on the other side of the things you least want to do. The things you most want are on the other side of the things you're afraid of. Something along those lines. It's not my quote, but I say it a lot because I'm a thief. And the first thing that popped into my mind during this meditation, after I splayed my arms out, laid myself bare before the universe, and said, how can I get out of this? I said, create. Well, I don't know what to create. Who knows what to create? I don't know what to do. It's very hard to objectively view your own talents, skills, abilities, and purpose as yourself. It's like Alan Watts says, the thing behind the eyes, what does it look like? Like, try to visualize what's behind your eyes right now. There's nothing there. It's kind of the same thing a little bit. And Taoism sort of teaches about this flow, right? There's this flow to the universe. And the whole universe is this flow of energy. And it's through participation in the flow of energy, through a concept called Wu Wei, which roughly translated means not forced or not forcing. And I've been forcing it. True dharma, true joy, whatever you want to call it, or dharma is your duty in life, but true joy, I think, cannot be attained unless you are fulfilling your dharma. And I think all of our dharma is Wu Wei, to go with the flow, so to speak. And I have no script for this. I have no plan for where this is going to lead. I have no real idea what this is for. This is just my initial foray into the world that I want to live in. And it's awkward and silly. And I'm holding my iPhone camera with my hand and probably shaking and not doing a very good job of capturing video. But this is it. This is my first creation. This is my first time. And I suppose I wanted to I didn't have any desires for this really, except to break myself out of the hell that I've created. But I guess I wanted to clue you all in that if this does end up becoming a success, this is how I started. 3:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. Gonna go to the gym soon. And then I'm gonna go to work at my dead-end fucking horrible job. Which, okay, I really love the people that I work with. I enjoy the environment, the camaraderie. But it is soul-crushing work. I mean, it is just, I work at a paint store, and it's just, all of the enlightened souls who see this are gonna write me off as a selfish ego, I'm sure, but I saw a quote recently that said, the universe will never give you peace in a place that you weren't meant to settle. And I have no peace here. The things that I like to do and think about and talk about have nothing to do with anything I spend my days doing. I spend my days doing things to maintain a semblance of material success and comfort. But comfort is the enemy of growth, and this is, without doubt, the best financial position I've ever been in, and simultaneously the most difficult problem I've ever had to solve. Because if I really do truly follow my heart, if I really did what I really wanted to do, I would pack all the shit in my car and drive. I would just leave. I just wouldn't even go in tomorrow. I mean, but again, that's irresponsible. That's spiritually bypassing. Clearly, I am here for a reason. Clearly, this is part of my story. And to not participate in this part of my story would be antithetical to the concept of wu wei. It would be the opposite of not forcing. I would be forcing it change. And so the conclusion I've come to now, as we speak, is the best way for me to change my life is to just do it, to just start. There's no need to destroy anything that's already been built, but rather focus my energy and consciousness on building something new, and then the old will just naturally fall away. So, to anybody out there today who is struggling with where to go or what to do or how to live life, don't force it. Or do. Because if you're forcing not forcing, that's also forcing. It's a paradox. And that's, I suppose, why the human intellect is so limited when it comes to these sorts of spiritual things. He who speaks does not know. He who knows does not speak. So clearly, I don't know. But I'm trying to find out. And the ironic thing is that it's through starting to accept this paradox of not understanding and how two seeming opposites are really part of the same whole that you begin to understand. That's the irony. The irony is that once you admit to yourself you can't understand it, it begins to make sense. And you start to understand what these Zen masters were talking about when they would say things like, what's the meaning of the universe? And the Zen master would say, well, it's windy today. Or someone would say, pass me that knife. And the Zen master, this is Alan Watts, and the Zen master would pass them the knife blade first. And the person would say, well, can you hand me the other end? And the Zen master says, well, what are you going to do with the other end? Like these things that just on the surface make no sense, they start to sort of make sense in a much deeper way. And I just heard a poem. Somebody said, the height of Zen poetry was a poem that said, a frog jumps in the water and it goes plop. And I'll leave you with that.